Good afternoon, my lovely butterflies. This is the Awakened Butterfly, and I am back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video or check out some of my existing content. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't hesitate to subscribe. Welcome and welcome back, everyone. I pray that you all are having a blessed and amazing day. I missed you guys so much. I feel like I have really been lacking when it comes to you guys because I feel like I haven't posted in over a week. And guys, I've been so wrapped up with work, and I was determined to make time to present this video. The Most High put it on my spirit, and here we are. I love you guys so much. And as you guys know, I really appreciate all the love and support that you guys show me on this channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, we will be discussing gang stalking, mental illnesses, and secret mind control tactics. And in today's video, I will be discussing how individuals who are diagnosed with mental illnesses are becoming targeted victims of gang stalking by people in their communities and even their own families. I will also be exposing the secret mind control tactics that are being placed on administrative workers by our communities in order to help carry out specific orchestrated attacks on targeted individuals. Now, according to Google research, as of this year, there's approximately 57.8 million individuals in the U.S. who suffers from mental illnesses. And this is said to include 5.86% of those people who suffer from a severe mental illness. Now, only 43% of those people receive treatment for their diagnosis. And several other treatments that mental health patients undergo besides medication includes brain stimulation therapy and psychotherapy. And many of these mental health patients have been very dependent on their meds because they feel that the meds and other psych treatments that has been subscribed to them can help subside their symptoms. Now, I'm going to discuss the symptoms of two main mental illnesses that people in the U.S. are mainly diagnosed with, other than depression and anxiety, and that is bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Bipolar disorder is a mental illness that is said to cause extreme mood swings, energy, and activity levels. And honestly, through my experience and my opinion, guys, and I'm sure a lot of you may agree with me, I feel that bipolar disorder is a type of spiritual warfare on the mind. And I also feel that it is a gift of discernment. It is the ability to hear inside of the spiritual realm. And in some cases, I feel that it could be the ability to pick up on demonic spirits and activities within other people. And when you have these type of gifts, people will gaslight you and mistreat you because of what you know. They know that you're spiritually connected with the Most High. I also feel that sometimes when people undergo episodes of bipolar disorder, they are being demonically possessed by someone. And I feel that this is being done through a form of witchcraft. Now, schizophrenia, on the other hand, is an extreme mental illness that affects how a person feels, acts, and perceives their reality. Now, when individuals experience something as traumatizing as a mental illness, you begin to wonder if many were born with their condition. And what actually causes mental illnesses to begin with? You know, what is the history of mental dysfunction? Where does this stem from? And according to the Mental Health Foundation, although a mental illness can stem from any age, 50% of Americans suffer from a mental health condition by age 14 and 75% by age 24. Guys, I find this to be true because around the age of 24, I began to feel like someone was trying to take over my mind. Someone was trying to control my life. I felt that when people did something to me and I became angry about it, people began to call me bipolar. And I never knew what that was. And the things that the people were doing to me were actually traumatizing things. Things that any normal person would and should speak out about. And I remember people trying to get me to go and get a mental evaluation, trying to get me on psych meds. And I did a video about this. And I'm going to go ahead and post it so you guys can check that video out. But it's where I was talking about people trying to make me feel as if something was wrong with me, as if I was crazy. But I was actually seeing people do evil things. I was actually seeing the spirits that was on people. And when I spoke out about these things, I was called crazy. My experience has led me to the belief that mental health is connected to the devil's attacks on our minds. And just like the devil's desires to control the masses, there are certain people in this world who does as well. And their desires to control other people is for sinister reasons. And one of their number one reasons for desiring so much control is to silence the people that they perceive as a threat. And these people are usually a threat because of what they know, how they obtain what they know, and the courage to speak out about it. Many of you withhold the Holy Spirit. Many of you have the gift of prophecy. And a lot of the people that are around you that gaslight you on a regular basis, who mistreat you on a regular basis, and you have no idea why, it's because the spirit that dwells within them doesn't like the spirit that dwells within you. It's spiritual warfare. It's darkness against light. And there's no in between. And when you carry the light of the Holy Spirit on you, people who carry dark spirits within, they really despise you. And it is a spiritual thing. It's always a spiritual thing. If someone is trying to manipulate you, they're trying to control the way you act, think, and perceive the things that are happening around you. And they're also aiming to take away your ability to think for yourself. And when people stop at nothing to manipulate you, there is usually something they are trying to hide. When people have evil motives towards you, they will gaslight you, causing you to question your own sanity. And this is a form of psychological abuse. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you do things to people that causes them to question their own sanity, their perceptions, and their memory, you are abusing their mind. These people may also downplay your mental capabilities by calling you crazy, delusional, jealous, a liar, whatever they can project upon you to get you to see things the way that they want you to see them. They will do just that. And like I said in my previous videos, yes, this manipulation is one of the most common forms of witchcraft. It's manipulating the mind. Now, although we as individuals experience this type of malice behavior, we as a society face an even bigger challenge. There are things that has been occurring in our world since the beginning of time that has occurred due to someone's motive to carry out a wicked plan or agenda in their mission to silence anyone that stands in their way, or at least anyone that they feel is standing in their way. And according to the National Library of Medicine, during the Middle Ages, erratic behavior was linked to demonic possession, while other cultures, such as Southeast Asia, views mental disorders as being linked to supernatural powers and the result and outcome of someone who disrespects the spirits or the sun gods. Now, guys, what do you think? Because to me, this sounds like mind control. And several mental health patients suffer from involuntary commitment. And this is when someone is forced into a psychiatric hospital or facility against their own will. Now, butterflies, many of us as targeted individuals understands the illegal actions that are used against us, that we may have a challenge battling with because they are implemented upon us by people of higher authority. These people are administrative workers, such as psychiatrists, psychologists, and people of law enforcement. People that we all look to for help and protection in our communities. And when it comes to being targeted in your community by the powers that be, these people who work in these fields and other specific fields are used to carry out certain gang-stalking tactics against their victims. Now, I just want to give you guys a quick announcement before I dive into something else. And this is for anyone out there who consider themselves to be a targeted individual. If you have awakened to the evil intentions of the people around you, including family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors, you are a target. If you are a truth speaker, whether you have a platform on social media or not, you are a target. If you have friends, family, partners, or neighbors who are involved in any community or government organizations, including law enforcement, the Freemasons, the Eastern Stars, firefighters, or neighborhood watch programs, you are being targeted. Guys, July 6th marked a tragic event in the year of 2024. Miss Sonia Massie, the woman who was shot by law enforcement after calling for help. You know, it's really sad that this occurred. And this woman was described as having a mental illness. When the police approached the scene, she described someone staring inside of her window. And she asked law enforcement not to hurt her. That was one of the first things that she said. She asked them not to inflict harm upon her. Like she already knew what was happening spiritually around her. Like she was, spiritually aware. And if any of you guys have experienced gang stalking to the point to where people were staring through your window, then you would understand why I feel that this woman was being targeted. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you feel the same way as well. The first thing that law enforcement asked her was if her mental health was okay. And guys, that stands out as a red flag to me because it makes me feel as if they already knew her condition, knew a little bit about her background before they even approached the home, which even led me to believe even more that this was a setup. And she actually told them that she took her meds. Now, she was at the stove with a pot of water and she was removing it because I guess, the water had already reached its desired temperature, and to keep a fire from starting, I guess she felt it was time to go ahead and remove the pot from the stove. And as she was beginning to move the pot away from the stove, the officer said he was backing away from the steam. And she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And when she said that, he drew his weapon and she put her hands up and surrendered, but he still began, to use his weapon on her. And it is being said that the officer who unalived Miss Sonia Massie has a girlfriend who works at the same mental institution where Sonia was a patient. It is also said that Grayson's father-in-law is the chief of law enforcement in Illinois. Now, is it just me, or does this sound like a setup? And if you want to know my personal opinion about this, I also feel that the officer who unalived Miss Massie was indeed under mind control through demonic possession. And I feel that he was placed under mind control by someone who was in a higher position of authority than he was. I feel that he was used to carry out an orchestrated attack against Miss Massie, who I feel was indeed a targeted individual. I want to show you guys a couple of clips that led me to believe this, and I will be right back.
The last thing my mom told me when she talked to me is that she gave me specific names. I'm gonna tell y'all, but she did tell me that the police was gonna kill her or these other people, and I'm like, why is that? And then after that, I didn't talk to her until like about 2 days later, and she was like, she had told me her exact words is, they gonna kill mommy, baby. And I got mad. We had gotten to it, and I'm like, stop saying that, because you're gonna speak down upon yourself. And then the day, like 30 minutes before she died, she called me and she texted me asking what I was doing, but I didn't reply because I was asleep. But the day before that, I talked to her. She was like, I love you. She always just kept saying, I love you, I love you. And then she texted me, she said, God always wins and mom loves you. And then I was supposed to go home with her that night too, but I was like, no, because I knew something was off. I was like, I'm just have my dad bring me in the morning. And the next morning came like 8 o'clock that morning. I told my dad I tried to call my mom back, and then that's when he told me that she was killed.
Let me say this, and I don't want with Mordecai.
Extra care. Well, they told me. Well, I got a call from the hospital. Actually, I never got a call from the police. But they told me that my mom, she had got shot in the eye, and it came out her neck. And they didn't tell me who. They were just saying somebody. They never would tell me who. They just kept on saying someone shot her. They would never tell me who shot my mom, though. So, and I think I was the first person to find it out, too. I had to go tell my grandma myself.
Outrage in Illinois over the shooting of a mother of two. The sheriff's deputy involved has now been fired and is facing charges. Here's ABC's Andrea Fajii.
This morning, prosecutors in Springfield, Illinois have charged former sheriff's deputy Sean Grayson with murder for shooting a mother of two in her home after she called 911 for help. On the night of July 6th, 36-year-old Sonia Massie called to report a prowler at her home. Grayson and another deputy responded to the scene, where prosecutors say Grayson aggressively yelled at Massie to put down a pot of hot water. They say she put her hands in the air and said, "I'm sorry." But they say Grayson shot her in the face. Prosecutors claim while the other deputy still rendered aid and stayed with Ms. Massie until medical help arrived, Grayson at no time attempted to render aid to Ms. Massie. Grayson's body camera was not turned on until after the shooting, but his partner's camera was on, and prosecutors say the footage does not support a finding that Deputy Sean Grayson was justified in his use of deadly force.
We've seen too much of this, where an innocent person, unarmed, who actually called for assistance, was the target and the victim of a shooting by a police officer. And this is not, it does not reflect on all police officers. This particular sheriff's deputy committed a crime, and he's been indicted for it, appropriately so.
The incident sparking immediate protests.
She was a mother, she has children. That is an impact for generations.
Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. According to court documents, the former deputy charged in Sonia's death is reportedly had his body camera turned off during the shooting, even though it's required to be on at all times. Sean Grayson is currently in the Menard County Jail. He's charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. He made his first court appearance yesterday. The judge denied him pretrial release. He pled not guilty.
How are you still employed by us?
I don't know.
Sean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, sir.
And I've had this conversation with you before. If we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our uniform. I'm calling you on your integrity. How does that make you feel?
I'm learning from it.
Are you angry with me for it?
No.
Do you understand it?
Yes. I don't get angry with this because, one, I have no experience. Before I came here, I had no experience. Two, I wasn't allowed to do this right here. I was not allowed to review my videos.
This is termination. I'm getting goosebumps. This is extremely concerning. Everybody likes you. I gotta be able to trust you. Was this a purposefully done lie?
No. I full-heartedly still believed I was on North Madison until you just pulled up Google Maps and showed me in the daytime.
This is gonna get deeper because you're gonna have a hard time answering some questions here real quick.
Okay.
Administrative workers such as psychiatrists are used in gangstalking tactics by making it easy for administrative leaders, which are the handlers, to keep tabs on mental patients that they perceive as a huge threat at that time. Psychiatrists are also used to make up evaluations and provide false diagnosis to targeted individuals in order to keep them under heavy monitoring and under mind manipulation from psych meds. When a person is said to demonstrate erratic behavior that healthcare professionals perceive as a mental illness, they are placed under psych evaluation for 72 hours. Where there's a new law in New Jersey that has extended those hours from 72 hours to 144 hours. And guys, I saw this as a mocking to the Most High's 144 chosen. I could be, thinking a little bit too outside the box with this, but I feel that anything that's not of the Most High is always a mocking to him when it comes to the demonic agendas that are being pushed by the leaders of our society. I want to show you guys a clip discussing this situation, and I'll be right back.
I literally had to take a day to process this because this made me so mad. There is a new law in New Jersey that allows for involuntary psychiatric care to be extended from 72 hours to 144 hours to allow for the medical team to find the right level of care for the patient. But that is so backwards. When there are psychiatric bed shortages, community care shortages, disparities, and literal frank discrimination in the availability and the utilization of these resources, the answer is not to hold people longer. It's to fix the reason why they need to be held longer in the first place.
When a person is placed under psychiatric evaluation, they usually get all of their requests that is pertaining around food and entertainment, such as being able to watch the movies that they want to watch, things of that nature. Well, while this is going on, they're being watched through a glass window. And the reason for this, according to psychiatrists, is this is letting them know if they need to change their patient's meds. And they're saying that if a person is demonstrating erratic behavior, being violent, or trying to restrain themselves, they need to have their medication changed. I don't feel that these mental evaluations are to help the patient. I feel that they are more of a cover-up for a mind control experiment. And I feel that they take targeted mental patients and place them under specific meds to see if they can still function under specific types of meds. And when these meds don't work, I feel that this means the patient is still in control of themselves. And I feel that when this happens, they keep changing the meds so they can have the person placed under zombie mode, where they're just stuck or they're just constantly sleeping. And I feel that once that happens, they then come to a conclusion that that's the medication that works for them. I feel that it's all, based around mind control gimmicks. And the CIA began experimenting with MK Ultra tactics in 1953. And based on the indoctrinated minds of several U.S. and foreign soldiers, and also other government officials, people in their communities, even animals, were also used in MK Ultra experiments. I feel that this is more than enough proof, to let people know that these things have existed and still exist today. If any of you have seen the 2018 Tales from the Hood 2 movie, there's a certain scene in the movie where the government is presenting a robotic cop. And this cop is programmed with the community criminal history database. And if it comes in contact with someone, it can trace their criminal history. And based on the person's past criminal history or current history, it determines how the robotic cop approaches them. There was a scene in the movie where the cop read the database of someone and annihilated them right there. Guys, these things, these movies are not just coincidence. They come from somewhere. And it's the enemy showing us in plain sight what is actually going on in our society. Guys, when people become a part of administrative-based organizations, in a lot of cases, they are placed under indoctrination. And this is a part of Satan's continuous attempts to mentally enslave our minds in hopes of everyone thinking, perceiving, and behaving in accordance to his wicked plans to control society and lead everyone to destruction. Now, since the enemy is not as powerful as God, he preys on the weak and vulnerable. And in this case, people who carry demonic spirits, who seek control, are the weak and vulnerable. And Satan works through these type of people who are holding the greed, the enemy of greed, wickedness, and who seek authority over others for malice intentions. These are the people that he uses. And in these end times, we must protect our mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. And one way of doing this is by believing in God, trusting the guidance of the Holy Spirit, trusting our discernment when God reveals the truth to us. When a person shows you who they are, please believe them the first time. Know who you are and how to operate in your spiritual gifts, guys, because once you learn how to operate, once you learn what your gifts are and how to operate in them, no one can gaslight or manipulate you into believing that you have a mental illness and need to be placed under psychiatric evaluation. You will know that it's all a manipulation tactic in order to silence you or to stop you from using your gifts or to try and stop you from walking in your purpose. Because once you guys know and understand your gifts and know that we're actually in spiritual warfare, you will know that demonic forces will come towards you, attacking you and trying to stop you from what God has called for you to do. Also, guys, know what comes with being involved in secret occults and organizations, because they are disguised as community organizations to improve the well-being of others. And in reality, they're actually cover-ups to gain the trust of their community. But while they're gaining the trust of their community, they're secretly destroying their community by performing rituals and orchestrating gangstalking tactics, including using magic. And they use magic in order to control specific people, situations, and events. And guys, you hear me talking about street theater, gangstalking tactics all the time. And this is where people of higher authorities, people who are connected to these organizations, they set up these traumatic events in order to cause harm upon other people. And they use magic to do these things. And guys, I just want you to know that once the Most High reveals the truth to you, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to come to you and try to steer your mind in another direction. And this is because they're afraid that you know the truth. And they feel that you're going to expose them. It may be people that you don't even know. Always remember, it is spiritual, and these people can see the light that you carry. And when a person feels that they have mastered the art of manipulation, and they feel that they have everyone around them indoctrinated, and here comes this one person or these handful of people who sees right through everything that they're trying to do, they're automatically targeted. Because when a person's trying to carry out something, they don't want anyone standing in their way. And this can be good or bad. A person who has good intentions, they're not going to cause harm upon someone that they feel is standing in their way. Because they know that it's spiritual and their intentions are good, because the Most High led them to do what they're doing. And they know that the reason why they're facing blockages is because of the enemy. And they know that if they pray and move in a certain way, that they will get through these challenges. On the other hand, you may have someone who's orchestrating plots, to become rich or to become famous or to just have higher authority over someone. And when they feel that someone's standing in their way, their reactions are totally different. They can become very dangerous in order to get what they want. And in this case, in our society, anyone that possesses spiritual gifts from the Most High and can see through the spiritual realm and can recognize and point out evil through all of this indoctrination that is being placed upon our society, they're a huge threat. And we have to make sure that we're protected at all costs. This is very sad, because the world is operating off of so much, it's operating out of so much wickedness that it seems that all the people who are trying to live, I'm sorry guys, it seems that all the people who are trying to live godly are facing so much persecution at this time. are going through so much. And I want you guys to know, continue to fight the good fight no matter what you go through. Always know that it's a blessing to be set apart from everyone else. It's a blessing to not be placed under indoctrination. And if you were once placed under indoctrination, the Most High, broke you away from that. And he put you through it so you could recognize it. I feel that I was placed under indoctrination at a point in time. And that is why my name is the Awakened Butterfly. Because I know a lot of people in the comment section, they always refer my name to a satanic occult or something like that. Something demonic. And I feel that a butterfly represents transformation. Because a butterfly was once a caterpillar. It was closed in and then it opened up and transformed. And I feel that I was closed in. I feel that I was in a box. I feel that I was under indoctrination around a lot of the people that were around me. They were calling me crazy. They were manipulating me. I was being gaslit. And it got to a point where I barely even knew who I was. But once the Most High delivered me from all of the demonic spirits that had me placed under indoctrination, I feel that I had awakened. So I call myself the Awakened Butterfly. So I just wanted to explain that part, because I know a lot of people always ask me, why did I name myself Butterfly? But that's why. Guys, I hope that this video sheds some light on some things that you were maybe wondering about the situation with Miss Sonia Massie. And it goes to show you through her situation that gangstalking is real, being targeted is real, and spiritual warfare does exist, and we are fighting it as we speak. Continue to stay upright, guys. Continue to pray. Continue to fast. Continue to have a good heart no matter what you're going through. Pray to the Most High constantly for discernment, for the protection of you and your family and your loved ones, because there are a lot of demonic forces out here that are jumping inside of people, and they are using our bodies as portals to place harm upon each other. And if not careful, it's always easy to be used by the enemy if not careful. None of us are too good that we cannot be used by the enemy, because he has his way of manipulating the mind. And I don't even mean using you to the extent that you can go out, you would go out there and physically harm, but for other reasons. He has his own dark motives for pretty much every aspect of our lives. So I just want you guys to stay prayed up. Make sure you share this video. I love you guys so much. I have more content coming for you guys. And until the next video, peace and blessings. Mwah.